guys, it's Sam, and since it's about halfway through the year, I think it's about time to check in on my 2018 reading goals and see how I'm doing for the year. So my first goal was that I want to get 52 books read by the end of 2018. I am doing fairly well on this. I said that I was going to reevaluate after school is done, and I am done with school August 20th. I am counting down the days, so I don't really know where I'm going to be at that point. Right now, I've read 33 books out of the 52 that I said I wanted to read, so I'm already a little ahead of schedule, but the next couple of months before school ends are going to be really, really busy, and I'm probably not going to get a lot of reading done as I haven't pretty much the rest of the year. I mean, I've been doing fairly well, but some of those are graphic novels and like obligations that I had for reading for the BookTube SFF Awards that I kind of like had to. Now that a lot of my reading I don't have to, there's no timeline on it, I might let it fall a little bit depending on how busy I get, so I will reevaluate once school's done. I also feel like there's a very good possibility that once school's done, I'm just going to like turn into a blob on the floor and not want to do anything. Right after school's done is when BookNet Fest is, so I'll be traveling around that time and really busy, and I just don't feel like I'm gonna get a ton of reading done until October-ish maybe, and then it's like holidays, seasons coming and stuff like that. So I'm gonna reevaluate that towards the end of the year. I think my reading is going to pick up a lot when school is done, and I want it to, and I'm looking forward to it, but I don't know, so I'm not upping that goal at this point, even though I'm ahead of schedule. Also, out of the 52 books that I wanted to read this year, I wanted to make sure that 26 of them, half of them, were books that I already owned, and of the 33 books that I have read, 10 of those are books that I already owned. So I think that's pretty good. I'm already like almost halfway to that 26 mark. One of my goals is also to get my physical TBR down. My physical TBR is a really big goal for me this year. It's not quite going to happen probably, I'm doing fairly well. I shouldn't badmouth myself so much because I feel like it's going pretty well, but I would have liked to get my TBR down even more, but I like I mentioned with school, I just can't read. School, work, full-time, all the stuff that I mention in every video just to remind you of how busy I am. So when you guys are like, why aren't you reading my favorite book? I'm like, remember how I've said that I'm really busy? But I started with 77 books on my TBR at the beginning of the year, and I want to get it down to 50 books on my physical TBR, remember, because other TBRs are infinite, and physical TBR is what I pay attention to. So I want to get down to 50 books by the end of the year, by like Christmas time, because I don't want my Christmas books that I get for Christmas to affect it. So anyway, that's my little stipulation I made for myself. So right now I'm at 68 books on my physical TBR. So I'm not doing as well as I would like to, but there's a lot of things that kind of impacted that. So for the BookTube SFF Awards, I did buy a couple of books that I probably wouldn't have bought at that time if I wasn't reading them for the BookTube SFF Awards, but I wanted to buy them because I did want to own them. I didn't buy all the books on the BookTube SFF Awards shortlist, but I bought some of them, and the good thing about that is I bought them and immediately read them, so they didn't go and sit in my TBR, but that means I couldn't get books off of my physical TBR either. So yeah, 68's not bad. It's closer to 50. You know, but it's not as good as it could be. My other goal was to read books within 6 months of getting them. That one I knew was a bit of a stretch, but I do have a way of logging it. So some of you guys have mentioned that you can see my TBR shelf and you can see the little flags. And if you're new here, you might not know that I put a little flag on my books when I get them as of the beginning of this year, saying the month that I got them in, so that I can try to read those books sooner and get them off my shelf for this within 6 month reading goal. I don't hold fast to that, where if I don't get around to it, I'm immediately getting rid of it. I'm not going to do that until probably 2019. I feel like that might be a more hard and fast goal that I have that year, but with this year and how busy I am, I don't want to be like punishing myself for not reading and like feeling like I have to read books or I have to get rid of them. Like, I'm not doing that to myself this year, but I am keeping track of it and I am doing that. So right now, a couple of the books you can probably see over here, I actually have them pulled out so that I know that these are the books that are coming up as far as like books I should get off of my TBR because they're hitting their 6 month mark. But I've actually done pretty well with this. Like I mentioned, the books that I was buying for the BookTube SFF Awards, I read the month that I bought them, so those were immediately leaving. I do have 2 books still on my TBR from December of 2017 and 4 books on my TBR from January of 2018. So those are books that are kind of coming up. Like I said, I pulled them all out so I can kind of see where we are, see if I want to prioritize those. But again, I'm still mood reading. If I want to read something else, I do. It's fine, but those are the books that I do kind of prioritize. I'm also recording my reading on a spreadsheet, so at the end of the year I will have a bunch of statistics and things that I can evaluate, which is really cool, and I'm really enjoying that. I've been keeping up with that. I have that up to date, which is really great. The next part of these goals that I want to talk about is that I do a yearly TBR. And this year for 2018, I broke it into a first 6 months of 2018 TBR and a second 6 months of 2018 TBR. And I said at the beginning of the year that I would choose that first 6 months, and in the middle of the year, I would choose the second 6 months, because that way we didn't have books on my TBR that I wasn't really excited about anymore, or I had lost interest or something. So that has been very effective and I've liked that. So far for the first half of 2018, I did not get all of the books on that list read, but I still went to read all of them. So that was again impacted by the BookTube SFF Awards, which is officially over. I will link the live show on the screen if you guys haven't seen it already, because we just recently did that. But I had a lot of books that I had to read for that, so I wasn't getting a lot of the books from my physical TBR done. I wasn't getting books that I wanted to prioritize for my own TBR really out of the way, because I was reading a lot of books for that, which I enjoyed a lot. Almost all of the books that I read for that I enjoyed, so that's okay. But I kind of knew that might happen and then I wouldn't have a lot of time to read. So of the 8 that I chose, I only read 4. But that's okay. So of my first half of the year TBR, I read Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell, The Falconer by Elizabeth May, Autonomous by Annalee Newitz, and The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. And I will talk about my whole year TBR at the end of the year in more depth, but I just want to let you guys know where I am as far as the status of that. So my second half of the year TBR will include the 4 books that I didn't get read for the first half, which are Morning Star by Pierce Brown, The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, which is on my Tome Topple TBR, so I'm probably going to get this read very soon, Caliban's War by James S.A. Corey, another book that's on my Tome Topple TBR, and Too Like the Lightning by Ada Palmer. So the other 4 that are new additions to the end of the year TBR are going to be The Queens of Innis Lear by Tessa Gratton, 12 Kings by Bradley Baleo, Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, and Vicious by V.E. Schwab. So I'm definitely looking forward to the second half of the year. Reading year-wise, a lot of things are happening in life, and it's very much like a transition period for me with like ending school and a lot of other things. I'm just very excited for the fall to come. I'm enjoying summer and I'm soaking up the summer, but so much is going to open up in life when the fall comes, and I'm just very excited for that and to be able to get back to reading and get back to my hobbies and like not be absorbed by school ever again. So comment down below and let me know how your reading goals are going for 2018. Have you been checking in with yourself, kind of seeing how things are going? What's the status? Everything like that. Comment down below and let me know. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!